And we are live. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Good morning, America. Good morning, world. Thank you for joining us to the inaugural Renovat Facebook Live. We're doing this every Sunday. We're building a community. We're building this conversation. And this conversation is about you. It's about us. It's about putting ourselves first. It is about showing up in our lives, being present, and also showing in full force in the lives of those that we love and for those that are expecting us to do our best. So thank you for joining this morning. We appreciate it. I'm going to give a few of you some time to join. I see Lisa, Ashley, Jadira, Rosie. Thank you for joining. We're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it fluid. We're going to, build this conversation. Today, I should say that even though I wanted to bring a few friends live to the screen with me, I was not able to figure out how to do that. So if any of you can help me for next week, I really would appreciate it. But we're not going to take no for an answer. And later on the broadcast, we are going to try to bring some of my friends by voice so we can really have a conversation. Nonetheless, I am reading your comments. I see you joining, and I welcome your comments, questions, contributions. And hopefully next week we can make it more interactive. So, as I said, we're going to keep it real, and if this is about putting ourselves first. First thing we have to recognize is that we're really going against nature, our human nature, because it's not what we are wired to do. But if we don't put ourselves first, if we don't invest in us and get ourselves ready, how can we expect to show up time and time again? And in what condition are we going to show up in the lives of the people we love? So there's no option here. We really need to make the investment and show up for us. But there's a certain tension between those two concepts. So how do we reconcile our desire to be strong and do our best, but also show up for others? I would say to that, what if? What if that energy and that natural instinct of nurturing others, we actually turn on for us? What if those actions that we so eagerly take to make others happy, we do for us? What if? What if we choose us? What if you choose you? And what if I choose me? What would happen? Wonderful things happen. But as we make that choice and we make that conscious choice, we also have to realize that that quest for happiness, it's very unique to each one of us. It's our own journey. And also, happiness is not just like power. It's not given. We have to take it. We have to make it. We have to craft it on our own, and maybe with a little help of our friends. And in addition, it's also a unique journey. So it sounds like a lot of work, right? We have to create a special sauce. And as far as myself, I've spent a lot of time working on that special sauce, and I have to say that it has worked. At times it's worked quite well for me. But one day I woke up and I realized it wasn't working anymore. So that was the day that I learned that not only this quest for happiness is a conscious choice, but it also is a constant choice. We have to work at it. What works today doesn't work tomorrow. And just as you might read on an investor's prospectus, a disclaimer might say, past performance doesn't guarantee future success. So we have to continuously work on it. On a personal level, my own journey to seeking happiness is one that is rather introspective. I continuously spend time with myself, thinking about who I am, who I want to be, who I can be, what I need, what I want, who I want and need on this journey, how life is changing around me, and how I evolve every day. So it's been a very personal journey for me. But I can tell you that it's a journey that has not been lonely. I've had a lot of help from my friends, a lot of shoulders to cry on it, a lot of, friends to laugh with, advice, mentorship, and it's been a blessing. I've also had the blessing of sharing my experiences and being there to support others. And that's exactly why I wanted to create this space and start this conversation with all of you. So the intention today is to open up the conversation, really send a standing invitation for you to join every Sunday, to make comments, to communicate, and really jointly take this journey through life, knowing that you're not alone, that those needs and wants and desires, someone else is going through it. Someone else might have something to say, might have a lesson learned. And, maybe something that I say today, some comment that you can see, scrolling through here, something that you can share with us is exactly what I need to hear. It might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. So again, the line is open. Welcome. Thank you for joining the conversation. And at this point in time, if possible, I'd love to start bringing a few of my friends. So who's connected? I'm just gonna make a phone call here and see if we can get some comments from my wonderful friend NORMA Parraz, who's joining us from Phoenix. Oh, Norma.
Okay, so you see me there?
No, I don't see you, Norma, but we can hear you. And I believe that they can hear you on Facebook Live. Is that right? Can we hear Norma?
Yes.
Yay, Norma.
Perfect.
So sorry that we cannot do it on video. Hopefully we can figure out. But thank you for joining, Norma. You have been one of those people who've been there for me. And I know that you have something to say, something that someone needs to hear. And so... go for it.
Are we ready? Yes, or not yet?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Well, I want to thank you, and I can't wait to meet this incredible group. I'm so excited to be part of this incredible launch of Renovad and the amazing women behind it, especially you, Pilar, who is the visionary on this. So I'm excited, and just the mission itself, it's so powerful. It is time for us to really contribute to ourselves and to put ourselves first. And honestly, I can't think of a better leader than you to guide us in this process. So again, thank you so much, Pilar, for this invitation and this, your contribution to all of us.
Awesome. So Norma, is there something about your quest for happiness, something that you have learned along the way that you may want to share with the audience today?
Well, definitely in the sense that, we as Latinas sometimes, think that everyone else comes before us and that we have to be the nurturers, the caretakers. And I think that we really need to go back and rethink that, because we can't help others unless we help ourselves. And, we want to make, we want to support our people around us, but at the same time, we have to take care of our, well-being, our health, our goals, and so I think this is the start of that, to really, really build that, sort of consciousness of putting ourselves in the right space, to really be able to develop and grow and help others.
So, Norma, has there been a pivotal moment in your life that made you open your eyes to the fact that, happiness is not going to knock on your door? And if I'm sure that moment did happen, what might have been an immediate step that you took that you would recommend others to consider?
Well, I think, when I became a mother, and I have two daughters that you know very well, Pilar, and that really put me in a refocusing of priorities. And I think, really assessing, how do you contribute to being a good parent, but at the same time, continue to be a good, be, I guess, at your best in your role as a head of household, and also professional and personally. And I think that really sort of redefined what I wanted, and I wanted to really build two young women with a lot of purpose. And I feel that the steps that I took at that early decision making really have created a result. As my daughters are doing have done incredibly well. And so this is a terrific moment to see the results of many, many years of dedication to making, to being in that place, being happy with myself, being happy with my daughters, and the sort of outcomes, building this little nest that has created, these two beautiful young women that are, seeking their own development, their own growth.
Awesome. Well, Norma, you are an inspiration, and I thank you for sharing this, not only this moment, this Sunday morning with us, but I thank you personally for sharing you with me. Appreciate your friendship and your support. So stay tuned, stay on the line. I'd like to bring another friend. Thank you, Norma.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let me dial here another amazing friend who's standing by. Another one of my heroes and mentors and friends and sisters, Ingrid Rivera, join us from Puerto Rico.
I'm here.
Ingrid, te escuchamos. Bienvenida. Gracias por conectarte y gracias por compartir este momento en la mañana con nosotros.
¿Me escuchas?
Te escuchamos y te estamos escuchando for Facebook Live as well. So welcome, Ingrid. Thank you for your contribution this morning. Tell us about your own experience, any thought that you might have to share with our audience today. Thank you.
Okay, so it's a couple of minutes later in the video, so I'm just going to be talking on the phone and not look at the video because then I get very confused.
Listen, technology. I think we need a little tutoring session.
Yes, so we will do that in the
Yes.
future. But at least I can see you on the live screen.
Yes.
Well, first of all, I'm Ingrid. I'm from Puerto Rico, and I am very excited that you have invited me for this first session, Pilar. And I've got a couple of thoughts I just want to share with the team, the group. Pleasure to being, connected with you all in this new journey for Pilar. Pilar, I take off my hat to you and for this leadership and for this dream, because we all have to dream and then execute, and you are doing it as we speak.
Thank you.
So, I think it's very, very special, and it's a way to keep women empowered and connected. So I'll take my 3 minutes, because I know, you got several friends on the list. And I'll talk a little bit about things that I have learned in my, I would say the last 9 to 10 years of my life, where I have searched, for self-growth, and part of that process has been becoming a life coach. Right now, I'm not fully practicing it, but there have been very important life lessons that through that process of training and through being able to practice it a little bit, with friends and with clients. I would say I'll share, I would say 4 or 5 things, which are really, really important in this process of growth. The first one, I think you mentioned at the very beginning, it's one of auto-amor, or self-love, which is part of self-esteem and self-assurance. It's really putting ourselves first. And I know it sounds kind of awkward for us Latinas. Usually we are so
women. Women. It's a women thing.
And Latina women,
yeah.
First
might have another layer of
our children, our family, and then suddenly we're the last ones on the list. So, we have to be a little bit selfish, because once we are very, we feel comfortable with ourselves, with our skin, with who we are, then we can actually love others better, and we're more secure, more, so it's the whole focus of self-care, self-love, self-admiration. So it's, yo primero, I, moi, and it's all connected to the unconditional love. We have to love ourselves unconditionally, and to listen to ourselves. And we are, and I am my best friend, and I think it's important.
Oh, that's powerful. I am my best friend. Yes.
I am my best friend. I would say, first point of the things I want to share, that's one takeaway that I want folks to think about. The other point 2 is as part of this growth of self-growth, is to surround yourselves with positive people and learn to move away from the toxic people that really do not add in your life. And some of the toxic people can be people you love, and people that are your family, or even our children. So it's, I know it sounds kind of awkward for us to move away from people that we love, but the whole idea here is not to engage in that toxicity, and it's easier said than done, and we don't have time at this point for us to think about that, but we can probably have a future session on that. But it's really, be choiceful about surrounding ourselves with positive people, because that energy gives you, it's a positive energy for you to continue growing as a person, and to give a lot of love to others, and to receive that love back.
Yes, and how beautiful Ingrid is to then be able for us to be that positive force for others, right?
Precisely.
Yeah, but you cannot give what you can, what you don't live, right? You just, it's sort of a circle of energy. So.
Right, it's that energy. So it's detoxify your life, and learn not to. We call it el moño. Do not get hooked with people that are not adding to your life, or to be able to be positive. And then their processes to be able to manage that, but do not engage in that toxicity. I think that's part of the thinking here of surrounding yourself with positive people. And tied to that, it's part of my growth process and being re-energized continuously. I have a group of girlfriends, and you know that girlfriends are the family that you choose, because otherwise you have a family that you cannot choose. So girlfriends are the family that you choose, and we have a group where we call ourselves the Glamazons.
The Glamazons! All right.
And those Amazons, we are Amazonas, which are, strong women, successful women, glamorous women. So that's why we have this funny little, name of the Amazons. And they're non-judgmental. They tell you how it is. They don't tell you how to live your life, but they support you, and they're there in good times and in the not so good times. So that's also a life lesson. And we've been friends for over 20 years. We travel together. We do things together. We support each other. And that sisterhood is really, really important in my, structure of life. Fourth point would be, and this is a really important life lesson, is be present. And I know there are a lot of write-ups about that. It's living the moment, living in the present. I even have it in my computer. Those two words, be present. And why is that important? I mean, I've had to, learn and read a lot of self-help books. Because sometimes you get stuck in the past. You can't change the past. Do not get hooked on the past, and do not get hooked on the guilt, and not being able to forgive yourself. It's so the whole thing about the past is, do not live in the past. Be thankful for the past. You can't change it, but you can transform it, to own it, and to be empowered by it, so you can accept it, you can heal with it, you can learn from it. And then the other side is the future, do not worry about it, because then you are not allowed then to be able to live today. You don't enjoy today. So again, be present, enjoy what's happening around you. Be present when you're in a location and you're looking at the flowers. Be present when you're with your person, your loved one, your family. Enjoy the moment. Sometimes our minds go off to tangent. So it's very hard to do, by the way, because we're powerful women with 20 million things that we want to do, and the to-do list and everything. But you have to engage in being present. I don't know how long do I have, but the other, a fifth idea is thankfulness and gratitude. Ser agradecida, estar agradecida, be free, be happy, be thankful. It's all tied to positive thinking.
Yes.
And, when you wake up in the morning, look out that window, and just be, it's a gratitude, una agradecida. It's thank you, God, for being alive today. Thank you for keeping us in my way. Thank you for the not so good times and the great times I'll have today.
The lessons of life, right? The lessons
of life, and what you have today. It's
thank you.
Being agradecida and be thankful. Even if you didn't have a good day, be thankful because you grow because of that experience. And it's all an attitude. It's how you look at life.
Yeah, Ingrid, oftentimes we have our goals and things that we want to accomplish, places that we want to be, and those dreams ahead of us. And but it's important to not bug ourselves with the desire of what could be, of what will be in the future, and then forget to see what and who is right in front of us. So yeah, it is a very, very rich way of living in the present.
Living in the present, precisely, and being thankful.
So Ingrid, I'm really, really grateful again for our friendship, for your mentorship. For your kindness, for being present in my life. And thank you for joining us today. I know that we have many, many adventures ahead together.
Yes, we do.
Así que te agradezco mucho de corazón que te hayas unido a la conversación hoy. Stay tuned. And And again, thank you all of you who are joining in and out, making comments. Liliana Grip, I love that comment. I'll be sharing some of that. Ingrid, muchas gracias. At this point, I'm going to dial another friend. So stay tuned.
Awesome.
Gracias. So let's see where this phone takes me. All right. So this friend is joining from New York. It's actually a newer friend in my life, who has had, a tremendous impact and has been of, great inspiration to me. Rosie Von Lila.
Good
Rosie,
morning.
Buenos dias. Good morning.
Buenos dias.
Good morning, New York.
Good morning, and hello to everyone, and hello to little LL.
Yes, he's right here. You saw him.
So Pilar, I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy to support you here, and it's really wonderful to see these powerful women coming together. I'm really excited about Renovat and what you're creating here, and I'm excited to join on a trip later this year.
Yes.
2019. Yes.
Awesome.
So a couple different things have come to mind as I've been listening to everyone share. I, earlier this year, participated in a program called the Modern Elder Academy in Baja, California. And I was there for one of the test programs. And even though I'm not yet a modern elder, I'm under 40, but approaching it, everybody there was over 50. And it's a program that's designed for people who are, later in their careers, who are preparing for the second half of their life or are in the second half of their life. And it's really meant to be a recharge session. And so through this program, I've gotten to be friends with a lot of people who are in their 50s and 60s. And it's been amazing watching, how much fun they have at this point in their life, and getting, they're all in different phases. Some of them still have kids, they have teenagers, some of them are empty nesters, some of them are retired, some of them are entrepreneurs starting companies. So it's really diverse. But what I've noticed is that, this year, I went through a career transition. We wound my company down in January, and I've basically had to start over. And I'm watching as my compadres in their 50s or 60s who are switching careers as well are having to start over. And so I noticed similar pitfalls of questions of, am I good enough? Do I have enough degrees? Do I have the right skill set? Oh my God, these people who are younger than me are more appropriate for this job now. Yes. And me, I recently had an experience a couple months ago where it was the opposite of, oh my gosh, I'm meeting with these people in their 50s. They're so advanced in their career. They have more degrees than me. And it's always this question about being enough. And I had this breakthrough.
You are enough, Rosie.
So this was
let's make that clear.
Yes, my breakthrough
more than enough.
Oh, you're so kind. You're so kind.
You are.
My breakthrough was that people don't want to work with me because of my degrees and my background. They want to work with me or anyone because they have how they feel when they work with me and what we get to create together and that shared experience. And so I shared that with my compadre who's in his 50s. That's what we call our group, our cohort. We call ourselves compadres y comadres. And so that's one thing, is that the pitfalls continue no matter what decade you are in. And so on that note, I think about how important it is to have daily rituals. And I was just with my mom in California, and we just experienced a huge life transformation event, which was 2 weeks ago. Her apartment in San Francisco burned down, and it was entirely unexpected, and it was so sudden. Like, her life changed in literally 10 minutes. And so I was in California the last 2 weeks to support her and help her get on her feet. And one of the things that we started doing, for the last 4 years, have meditated every single day right when I wake up. And so I started helping her get onto that ritual and helping her, asking her what kind of rituals she wants to have in the morning. And so that is something that is really grounding. And I also, there's all kinds of rituals that one can have, but it's really this practice of creating daily rituals, particularly in the morning. That's something important for self-care. And then I also, what's her name? Ariana Huffington, who's a big advocate for getting enough sleep. I followed that advice to a T. So lots of sleep. And the last thing is recognizing that we never get it all done, and that they're
work in progress.
Yes, and this whole idea of having a life that is balanced, it's from all the women and people I've talked to, there never really is a balance. It's more like some things go great and then other things get less attention, and so it's kind of
maybe it's like a dance, more like a balance.
Yes. And yeah.
Sometimes you dance with a partner, sometimes you go freestyle, sometimes it's a waltz, and maybe salsa.
Yes.
But balance. What's balance? I'm no gymnast,
Yes. And so in that, coming off of this experience with my mom and her literally losing 98% of her material things, I have come to realize how important it is to ask for help and to do it.
Nola, you're not alone. This is for your mom.
Yes,
we're with you.
Exactly.
And Rosie's with you.
Yes.
Right?
So asking for help and doing it in an organized way that people can understand. And like that includes communicating in all different kinds of ways. So I've worked in communications for a really long time. And, in the midst of crisis, what I did was I drew out a little mind map just with markers and pens that showed what we needed at the time. And there's been this huge outpouring of support, not just from that, but that's helped spark people's ideas of how they could help. And so that's whether it's just in your daily life and there's not a crisis, but you need help with your kid getting picked up or whatever it is. I think that we often limit ourselves by not asking for help and not getting creative around our commitments. Like I saw Liliana shared that this was supposed to be the year of me for her.
Yes.
And it hasn't been. And we get stopped in pursuing, we get stopped in our commitments to things because there's always so much going on. But staying committed to something means that we get creative about how we actually make it happen. And I think that's all I have for this morning.
Awesome. Well, that's quite a lot. And again, Rosie, thank you again. Thank you for taking the time to join us today, sharing your wisdom, being part of this community.
It's my pleasure.
And I can't wait to continue to take amazing adventures with you. I enjoy our last trip.
Yes.
Yes, and I can't wait to find ourselves again on the road, exploring and getting to know one another and supporting one another. So thank you. Stay tuned, ROSIE Von Lila. And I am now I have 2 more calls to make. I'm going to call a very special person, someone that I've known for all her life. So let's see where this phone takes me. Knock, knock. Knock, knock. Mi linda Cachita, are you there?
I am right here with you, Pilarcita.
Awesome. I've known her all my life. This is my beautiful sister, Cachy Avila. Alicea,
Welcome,
Casilda
everybody.
Maria.
We're super excited to be together, joining this powerful woman. It's all about sharing, inspiring, motivating, and being that person for someone else. Because there's always someone watching, and then by what we do every single day, we can inspire other people. My message to you today is to listen to your inner voice. It's super important. You know, life goes so fast. So many things happen. And we don't take the time to listen to our inner voice. So many times in your life, you feel like unsatisfied. You have a successful career, you may have the money, or you may not. You may have a great family, but you still feel unsatisfaction, and you don't understand why. So my message to you today is the unsatisfaction comes from our dreams knocking to our door. They constantly come and remind us through different ways of communicating in life that there's something unfinished, that there's something that you might have started when you were a little kid, very young, and you never continue for whatever reason. And that's going to continue coming, knocking to your door over and over and over until you decide to listen to that inner voice. Once you listen to that inner voice is when all these amazing projects in your life start happening. And I'm so excited for today. I'm so excited for what we're doing together, because this will motivate others to listen to their inner voice so they can make their dreams come true. Dreams do make come true as long as we continue working towards them every single day. If we fall, we can always come back up. And that's a message for today for me, ladies. I really want to motivate you to listen to that inner voice. I know that a lot of you are already doing that, but if you feel that there's something that is unfinished in your life, if you feel there's something maybe from your teenage years or from your 20s that you want to accomplish and you haven't, it's never too late. You have time to do this. While there's life, and there's health, yes, there's always time to make a difference.
There's possibility. And, you know, I would say that when that inner voice says, oh, no, not you, girl. Oh, no, not now. Oh, no, you can. Not you. That's someone else. You tell that inner voice, enough. I am enough. I'm doing this, and I'm in charge. That's what you do. Because, you know, that inner voice can be very insistent, and it can be very creative, and it can be very inspiring, but sometimes also you need to manage those thoughts.
Well,
you know, and that voice that says that you can't.
Yeah, so glad that you mentioned that, because our brain, actually, this is scientific. Our brain is trained to protect us. So anything that is either hard work or that we think is difficult or they think is going to be like a challenge, then that's our brain kind of stop us from doing it. So we have like a very short window of time, about 5 seconds, to interject our brain from protecting our thoughts. That probably those could be thoughts like going to the gym, like waking up at 5 in the morning to work out in the morning. We know that that's good for us, but we don't want to do it because it's hard for the body. It's hard for the overall.
That explains it.
But then think about that next time. You know, make sure that you jump ahead from that inner voice or from that brain protecting you from not doing something that is really your true calling in life.
Amazing, Cachy. So listen, thank you. Thank you for being in my life since the first day of your life. Your gift.
Well, thank you so much for always being an inspiration for me. For those who already know, I'm the youngest of the 5 kids in the house. When I was a 2-year-old from my crib, I went to Pilar's bedroom. I can tell you that she teach me a lot of things in this life. She's been hard on me. She's been sweet on me. But thanks to my parents and to all my siblings, I am who I am today. So I'm eternally grateful for your love. Thank you, ladies. Have a fantastic morning.
Thank you, Cachy. Thank you. So listen, we are past the half hour, but the conversation is so good. And I have one more call to make. One more call to make. And Carmen Ramos, también una mujer. I've known her it's been over 20 years, and it's been amazing friend, amazing collaborator. She's gonna take this home. She's closing this inaugural. Hola, Carmen. Bueno, mi amor. They don't call you the closer for, no reason, because you are the closer.
It's so beautiful, that is beautiful. Oh my goodness, I have to say, Pilar, first of all, congratulations for just having the energy of the spirit to bring us all together to share what we've learned, even if it's painful experiences, and to encourage each other with insights to move forward and do great things. And so as I'm listening to all of you, all these beautiful ladies, I wanted to leave you with a few thoughts. I guess the first thing that I would say, and I heard some great feedback, so what I would add is the one thing that I've learned, and someone was talking, Rosie, I think, about going to a session in California where the folks were a little older and they're looking at another side or another part of their life. And what I would say is that we should always be looking at our life and being prepared to reinvent. And because reinvention is what keeps us alive. It keeps us trying new things of ourselves and challenging ourselves, right? For all of the different possibilities that we can accomplish. I mean, sometimes we are so linear that we only see one direction or one road to take. And so to that, the advice that I would say is, number one, that we have to be intentional, right? Many of us are, living life and the winds are taking us and we are reacting to things that are happening on an ongoing basis. And it requires us to really identify what do we want to invest our time in and our energy and our spirit, and to be intentional to make it happen, because there are forces all around us that are going to be pushing us away from the direction of those goals and ideals that we want to live. And so we have to be intentional and ensure that we make the space for it. So in the working out, I'll share that I started working out with a trainer that is doing beautiful things to me. He's shaking every part of my body that I don't even know I had. But I'm being intentional about it, and I'm ensuring that I have it plugged in my calendar and that I will not let other things interrupt that. So be intentional, right, is critical. The second thing that I would say, and that I have faced I would say this new phase of my life, is be adaptable. And I named my
be adaptable. Be adaptable.
Because we don't control everything around us, and I think that sometimes our expectations about what is supposed to happen can be so strong that the dejection of a loss or failure or not living up to what you thought you were supposed to because of whoever said that was supposed to happen, that all of a sudden we think it's over. We think that our opportunities are not going to be as great as they could be, and therefore our life may not be as great as it can be. And the bottom line, I would say to that, humbug, no way.
Carmen, I love that point. Be adaptable, and the fact that we might have a plan and we know what we want and how to get to it, but then life happens.
Exactly.
And obstacles come on the way, and you have to figure out, how am I going to go, over it, around it, or how am I going to crush it, right? Now, that's one thing, but the other thing is ensuring that we don't become our own obstacle. Right?
Oh, absolutely. And generally we are.
Yeah.
Generally we are our biggest obstacle.
We tend to be good at that. Yeah.
You know what, Pilar, what you just said is that sometimes what looks like an obstacle and what looks like a terrible situation occurring to you could be what opens the door to something greater.
A catalyst, a lesson.
Exactly, or open a new door to an entire new opportunity that you might not have even thought about, right? And so being able to then, what allows you to continue to grow in that space is to keep learning,
keep figuring out ways to learn new things. Don't just feel that you've learned everything that you're going to learn and you're where you are, but keep learning and learn from others. And don't think that only those people with the degrees and with the titles and are the ones that have a lot to say that you can learn. Because I could tell you, most of us would say our mommies and our pappies are right up there with a lot of very, very highly cultured and educated professionals. The one thing that I would leave you with are 4 letters.
Yes.
And for you to keep in mind, almost like a license plate. BKWU. Above it all, be kind with yourself.
Be kind with yourself.
Kind with you. Be kind. Sometimes we beat ourselves up so much. How could we make it through when we are our own worst judges, right? And so be kind with yourself. Allow yourself, forgive yourself. And if you made a mistake, if you didn't follow through, if you didn't, and just start
Take
again.
it as a lesson. You know what I say about mistakes? There's no mistake. I don't make mistakes. Let's be clear. Okay.
I like that.
No, I don't make mistakes. You're keeping it real. The reality is that a mistake is an experience from which you don't learn from, right? If you learn from it, then it's a lesson. It's a life lesson. So yeah, I make a mistake here and there, but yeah, life lessons. Otherwise, it's a big mistake. So Carmen, be kind to
yourself.
Be kind with yourself. Be kind with yourself.
Or be kind to yourself. Or be kind with yourself.
Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself first. So the closer, Carmen, thank you for joining us. We're going to wrap up. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Those closing words. Be kind to yourself. Be kind with yourself. And to that, as we close again, I say, what if we choose us? What if you choose you? Remember, happiness is a personal journey and it is a constant choice. So let's check in with ourselves and let's make sure that we don't spend any minute of our lives on a path that neglects loving ourselves and putting ourselves at the top of the list. What if you choose you? We'll see you next Sunday right here, 9 a.m. Pacific. Thank you for joining us and thank you for sharing with friends. Continue to make comments. Thank you to all the friends who joined and all of those who will watching on demand. We'll see you next Sunday. Thank you.